Hi, everyone. I'm Steffi D.
And I'm Lisa H.
And welcome to Check-In from Away.
This week, we are checking in with Colin, Mochrie and Deb McGrath.
Thanks for joining us.
Steffi, I am so excited about this week's episode. Let's be honest, it's been a dark few months, and we thought that maybe this week we would explore the lighter side of life. And who better to do that with than a couple of the funniest Canadians?
Yes, Lisa, Colin and Deb are like Canadian comedy legends. Also, I feel like I need to bring this up to the world, to the internet. You and I have been two single gals in isolation. Yes, I know it's hard to believe, but you and I have been single in isolation. And, now that, phase 3 is about to happen, things are opening up again in Toronto. We feel like it's time for us to strike while the iron is hot and get ourselves some boyfriends, get ourselves some partners. And who better than to give us advice than Colin and Deb, who have been married for 31 years since 1989.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to hear what they have to say. But, if that doesn't work out, I do think that you can get this from Bed Bath & Beyond / Kitchen Staff Plus for $4.99. It emulates human touch. It's a back scratcher.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't think that's going to do it for me.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Deb McGrath.
I'm Colin Mochrie.
Colin and Deb, I'm already laughing so hard. You're both two of the funniest people that I know, that's for sure. I can't carry on with the interview before telling our viewers that all three of us were in a CBC TV movie called Sunshine Sketches of a Little Town.
Yes,
If I'm not mistaken, we didn't have any scenes together, did we?
No, I don't. Maybe the big boat scene when
Yeah.
it was sinking.
But we never had scenes together,
Right.
I don't think. We were always around each other so we could talk and converse
Yes.
and
That's
we
exactly.
could give you the wisdom of our elderly ways.
Yes, yes.
You both met at Second City, and you have been married since 1989.
Yes.
Yeah, Deb hired me for the touring company.
It was just a slow build to respecting the talent and then all of a sudden going, uh-oh,
Yeah, it was like a good 3 months.
I'm in trouble. Yeah, it's good.
it went pretty quickly. There was no slow build.
I mean, slow build regards. It wasn't, yeah, okay.
Clowns or comedians?
Comedians.
Amy Schumer or Chris Rock?
Can we
Chris
say-
Rock.
Yeah, I'll go Chris Rock too.
Okay. Steve Martin or Robin Williams?
No, that's really. I worked with Robin Williams. I'm going to
too.
say Robin Williams.
Me too.
Oh, right. Yeah, we both did.
I love it. Okay. Ricky Gervais or Joan Rivers?
Ricky Gervais.
Jim Carrey or Sarah Silverman?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Larry David or Jerry Seinfeld?
Larry
Larry
David.
David.
Who's funnier, Colin or Deb?
Deb.
Colin.
Deb by a country mile.
That's true.
Favorite knock-knock joke?
You start it.
Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Crap.
If 2020 were a joke, would it be funny?
No. It's just a long, rambling setup with no punchline.
Okay. If 2020 was one word, what would it be?
What word did we use?
Fucker.
If 2020 was a person, who would it be?
Donald Trump.
What have you both been doing to stay creative or funny while you're in isolation?
Just finding creative ways not to kill each other. And not
That's
true.
not true.
We get along very well, and Deb is very good at nipping any potential problems in the bud. Like she said within, because I had been out of town. I came back just before the travel ban, so I was isolating for 2 weeks. And Deb said, here's the thing. We're going to get on each other's nerves. It's a natural. We'll just realize that, and we'll go on to our little spots, do something, and then we'll come back together at night and drink.
Exactly.
Well, Deb has the best stories.
I do.
Well, tell.
Okay,
I
so
know which
one
one
of
you're going to
mine-
tell. I know which one exactly.
Second City?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at Second City with some fabulous people, John Hemphill, Kathy Lasky, Ron James, Don Lake, Bruce Perry. We had a great cast and a lot of fun. So at the end of the show, we did a musical number called Trudeau. I played Canada, who was quite pregnant. And it was not Justin, that's how old I am, it was Pierre.
Right.
So anyway, John Hemphill made it his life's work to make us laugh. Not the audience, that was a given, to make us laugh. So we're laughing, we're laughing, we're laughing, we're laughing. This night was beyond. We could not get it back. People were rocking and crying, and I bent over and did a complete toilet pee in my gown, all over my shoes. And at that point, the stage was carpeted. And the decision was made to rip up the carpeting and put hardwood in. And I peed in Andrea Martin's Second City wedding gown. And then the stage manager was so mad at us because it was the last scene in the show. She was so mad as she came back like bursting. And she was Ron's wife. And she went, you go out in the improv set and you do that number again without laughing or I quit.
I've never done anything that unprofessional.
Huh.
So
You haven't actually, you're a rock.
when I was doing Who's Line, my favorite time would always be breaking up Ryan where he was helpless because, you know, all those guys are pretty jaded. They've all seen comedy for a while. So when you actually get them, you feel great. And it was never a really funny joke. It was always, I'd throw a word in and he would just start laughing for no reason.
Yeah.
And then I would keep going at it till he hurt.
What is your ultimate favorite career memory?
Oh,
Well, I know what yours is. Oh, yours can be separate from what you know I'm going to say.
I don't know what you're going to say because mine might be the same as
Oh,
yours.
Colin and I created a
Getting Along
show
Famously.
called Getting Along Famously for CBC. It only ran a season, but we played a famous Canadian variety couple in 1964. It was like full out dancing. Donna Fior did all the choreography. Tony Winners, Greg Morris, and Lisa Lambert wrote all the music. It was fantastic. It was the best. When we went into CBC, we pitched them this extraordinary idea that was out of the box. And we also said, and here's the cast, and they're the only people we want. And they went, okay. So all our dear friends who were funny, musical, brilliant, it was a piece of heaven. And I'm sure yours is.
No, that's what I was going to say.
Oh,
What did you think it was?
I thought Who's Line?
Oh.
He's over it, clearly.
No, I mean, Who's Line absolutely was great, but Getting Along Famously was one of the best experiences because I was working with my talented wife, working with our friends. Everybody was so invested in that show and worked above and beyond. Of course, there was no budget, but the crew was amazing.
The crew brought in stuff from their parents' homes to decorate the set.
It was set in the 60s.
Set in
So-
the 60s. Great vintage costumes. We used the old CBC studios to do the full studio dance numbers. We got to dance and sing. Colin was particularly fabulous in one of our songs called Mountie Poppins. And he got to dance to Mountie Poppins that Greg and Lisa wrote. Yeah, it was great.
In Canada, we're tough that way. Whenever someone goes astray, we call on Mountie Poppins.
Mountie Poppins, that's my name. Criminal stoppings, my game. Slap me fanny if you ever can. Mountie Poppins gets a man.
We've been in isolation now for almost 5 months. Steffi and I are both single women. And before phase 2 hits or the second wave, we're going out to find partners. Like, that's it. We are not.
Oh, all right.
So we
Well
thought
done.
that, right, that's it. Like, that's our plan. Bars are now open, kind of, and we are going to settle down before we get into the second wave.
I don't see how anything could go wrong.
Because you both have been married for so long, and obviously you haven't been driving each other crazy in isolation, as you mentioned, we really, really wanted to get some dating advice from you both before we go out into the jungle that is the dating scene, especially online or in person. And we were hoping you'd be willing to play a little improv game with us.
Sure.
Scenario number 1. Steffi and or Lisa meet a random person from the internet, from a dating site. You arrive at the first date and they don't look like their photograph. What do you do? How do you proceed? Do you stay or do you get out of it?
Wow. When we started dating, there was no internet.
No, there was no internet. Not even kidding.
Well, I guess that would happen in blind dates, though.
It would happen in blind dates. You could stay and do a makeover on them.
I guess. Well, I would say it depends. If you're looking at a person and thinking, all right, this is totally unlike the picture I saw, obviously there is some dishonesty there. But if you think, okay, it's just slightly off, he's not repulsive, and maybe there was a reason that the picture, maybe find out. I would lean towards not showing up.
I think you give the benefit of the doubt for a short period of time.
Also, did you give the right photo?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether or not there's a filter on it is like a different story, but like, yes,
Gotcha.
it's the right photo.
Like little cartoon birds lighting on your head.
Exactly.
Yes. That's right.
I think you always give the benefit of the doubt because you don't know that 5 minutes into it, they're going to say, and I know I don't look like my photo. I didn't have a lot of, lost my stuff at my parents' house. There was a flood. I had to look at a photo that didn't have an old girlfriend in it. Like you don't know what the reason is, or I'm a nice guy, but I'm not classically handsome. And I know it seems like deceit, but I figured at least it gets my foot in the door and maybe you can get to know me.
That's
That will
perfect.
never, ever happen.
That's not true.
No man will ever say that.
You don't know. You don't know all men.
I know them all.
I know them all.
Well,
Why?
Can you guys just show us, like, pretending, Deb, you're me, Colin, you're Steffi, you're meeting the random guy on the internet, you see him from afar, like, what's the initial facial expression you have when you notice, like, this person doesn't look anything like the photo?
So we're seeing them over there. I'm seeing
Yeah.
them over there.
Yeah.
They're walking up to your table at the bar.
And you're like,
Hey. Hi. 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 How do you
will there
do?
be anyone joining you? I'll get your menus.
okay. You guys have been seeing each other for 1 month. It's going well, but you haven't had the conversation yet.
Right.
You're inviting them over for dinner at your place for the first time, and you want to ask them to be exclusive. How do you proceed?
And we're ourselves?
Yeah, you guys could be yourselves. Yep.
I will tell you something right off the bat. It's ordered in food.
That's fine.
I don't cook.
I didn't want to put any pressure on you. We can
Okay.
just relax, have a nice time.
Yeah, it's very nice. I ordered from Pussateri's, so it's good food.
Oh.
And speaking of Pussateri's, so what are your thoughts about like tomorrow or the next day? I mean, where do you see us in a week or a year or 31 and a half years?
Are you saying you want to be exclusive?
No. What? You are. I just want to, I guess, dip my toe in the water.
You know what? I am fine with this being the last thing I ever have to go through.
Me too.
All right.
I love not dating almost as much as I love you.
Yeah, I think this will be good. And we'll, at some point, after maybe 10, 20, we'll realize we don't want to start over. So we'll really work at it harder.
Second phase.
Yes.
Oh my God, the thought of never having to date again makes you so much more attractive.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay, let's stick with this.
All right.
Through good or bad. And when it's bad, let's remember this conversation.
Absolutely. That actually happened.
And one other piece of advice. In the next little while, you'll be having all your dates on patios. Beware, because when it's over, you might find out that you're dating an agoraphobic.
Oh, that's really good advice.
We pretty much from the beginning knew that this was it. I think within a month, I knew I was going to be married, and Deb certainly knew. She knew before I did that we were going to. It's luck. A lot of it is luck, that just bumping into your soulmate and her loving you. We both have changed over the 31 years.
Yeah.
And this is a true story. After 6 months, about 6 months into our marriage, Deb looked at me, seriously, and went, I thought you'd be easier to change.
I did.
And I love that. And I did change. And, so different from the person she married in many ways. But I had to go at my own pace and learn things.
Well, because he was so shy, so quiet, I thought I could say to him, I think we should kind of do it this way. And then I realized, no, the strong, silent type. He'll do it the way he wants to. But then when you love someone, it's about compromise. Like to go through my whole life never having to compromise. What do you learn? Like compromise for the animals, compromise for your children, compromise for your mate. That's, I think, what makes you a more interesting person. It will end, and hopefully search your soul for what we've learned from it, that we have power over. And while we're still in it, find your creative soul. Find things to do. Like, we've never been busier, and it's not work. Just take your camera out, do something to make it memorable. So it wasn't a period you just got through.
Yeah. And remember, when things went bad, you turned to the arts. You watched
Yes.
television, you watched music, you listened to music. Keep that going. Remember, we were there for you. So there may be times you have to be there for us.
Yeah.
/ during this time in isolation, like, you turn to the arts, and you turn to Check In From Away.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Check In From Away.
See you next Tuesday.
Cheers.
He's into revenge. And if you asked him what superpower he would most want, here's what it is.
To make people involuntarily soil themselves. Yeah. So if someone cut me off in traffic, I might follow them to work. And if they're giving a speech, full bowel movement.
Okay, question though. Are you a psychic and you know what they're doing at what time, or do you have to follow them?
I have to follow. Well, that might be interesting.
You should add that.
I should add that. That would be a secondary skill. But yeah, I mean, chances are it's not going to happen.
I'm pimping his power. I'm totally
But
pimping his power.
kind of sounds like maybe that's inspired by Deb's, onstage mishap.
It may be. She's inspired me in so many ways over the years.